Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I didn't forget about you guys. I saw Alberto ask if I'd forgotten about him. No. We were just chatting in the green room before we got started here on some of the show particulars. So yeah, we've got a lot of artwork to look at today. 41 pieces, and that's I don't know, that's maybe a record for Joe, but they're all great, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we've got some auction lots again. As you know, when we did the last show, we had some Harley Quinn pieces that we decided to auction off because they're all interiors. We've got 5 of those today, and then we have 36 lots of original artwork to look at, and which are all at fixed prices as usual. And a few of those we've shown before, and pretty much those ones that we've shown before, where we've got reduced prices on them. And I can tell you that for you Vampirella fans, typically, you know, what I try to do with Joe's show is we organize everything lowest to high as far as the prices go when we're showing them off. But I did get the scans for some Vampirella pieces at the on the last hour, so I made slides for those, and those are going to be at the tail end. I think we have 3 pieces with Vampirella in them. So just wanted you to know that, because I don't think I included any Vampirella scans in the emails that I sent out earlier today and yesterday. So let's get this thing started, and we've got Mr. Linsner in the green room, and here he is. Hey, Joe, how are you?
I'm okay, Bill. How are you, man?
I couldn't be better on a Saturday afternoon here in Florida. It's like 80 degrees out there. I feel like I should, if I had a pool, I'd be swimming in it.
So was that a jack-o'-lantern behind you?
Yeah. I put it on top of the lamp there just to kind of help it, you know, add a little ambiance. And then I put one over there, and you know,
very nice.
The kids won't have anything to trick or treat with, but you know, what they don't know won't hurt them. They're all 18 and up, you know, so they shouldn't be going trick or treating anymore anyway. Though I'll tell you, my daughter turns 21 November 1st. She was born like 10 minutes after midnight on Halloween. I was so hoping for that Halloween baby. It didn't happen. Poor Gwen. But yeah, she turns 21, so I'm going to be taking her up for probably her first beer. Well, her second beer, I guess, because she was in London with her mom a year and a half ago, and mom took her out for her first beer. Which,
oh, wow.
That shouldn't be fair, but you know, it's illegal over there for them to, I think, 18 or 19 they can drink there.
Oh yeah, very different. And also they serve beer in like Wendy's over there.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't even know they had Wendy's over there, but that shouldn't surprise me, I guess.
Yeah, I remember going into, you know, various fast food joints when I was in England, and like McDonald's serves beer. You know, Wendy's. Yeah, that was very strange.
I wonder which brands they go with. They can't be brewing their own over there, but that's kind of weird. But hey, you know, I wouldn't
actually. I think it was Guinness.
Well, okay, then that makes a whole lot of sense. Why not? I mean, a Guinness is almost like a milkshake at the end of the day.
Yeah, right.
I had a Guinness yesterday when I went out with Maureen. So yeah, it's like my go-to drink when I can't see anything on the list that I like. Guinness is always good. So welcome back to the show. It's been like 6 months, I think, since you've been on here. And as usual, you are the most prolific cover artist out there, Joe, or at least the most in-demand cover artist. So how many covers a month do you tackle, do you think?
These days, I guess on a slow month, 3, on a busy month, like 7.
Wow.
And those add up.
They do.
You know, I'll like blink and have a big pile of artwork. Like, hey, where'd all our artwork come from? You know, yeah, Dynamite actually keeps me very busy, which is a wonderful thing.
Absolutely, no, that's fantastic. That's why you've gotten to work in so many interesting titles out there with the Vampirella and Red Sonja books, Barbarella and whatnot. I mean, but all well suited for you, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up reading Red Sonja, so I still get a thrill out of every time I get to draw her. You know, I still sit back and have to pinch myself like, wow, I'm actually doing a Red Sonja cover. You know, it's still exciting. It's still really cool. And, you know, I still feel very lucky to be able to, you know, do this for a living, because I know how hard it is to, you know, to break in. And exactly. It's funny. It's not about talent. Talent is part of it. But a lot of it is knowing how to communicate with people, knowing how to work on a deadline. Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of things come together, and I've been lucky enough to come this far. I've been doing this for, 35 years.
Exactly. Yeah, I saw it's interesting. I mean, I think, we've never really talked, I think, about that kind of thing, the business side of being a good artist and being able to get work. I saw because I think it's Lightbox is happening this weekend, and an artist that
I believe so. Yeah.
an artist I follow on Facebook had mentioned that they had never done as many portfolio reviews in a day, like, so probably on Friday, right, where students were coming up to them, and or maybe people who were just out of college, and and it was kind of a sobering thought where he said, I've never had to do so many before, and it's kind of sobering thinking that where artists are going to be 5, 10, 15 years from now, given the changes everybody's seeing in publishing and AI generated art and all those sorts of things. He's like, I'm wondering where these guys are going to be, and and gals, are they going to be able to make it to where I am today, successful and being able to work with publishers, and yeah, I don't know. When I read that, I thought, wow, that's true. What will the art market for artists be like in 5, 10, 15 years from now? I mean, like you said, if they're not honing their skills at communication and timeliness and all those sorts of things, they can be the best artists in the world and not be able to get any work.
Yeah, and the whole AI thing, I can't guess where that's going to go, because it keeps getting better and better. And if I was a kid, if I was like 12 years old or whatever, looking at art, would I really care if something was organic or AI generated? I might just go towards whatever I think looks coolest.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of really cool things produced through AI, because, like I said, they keep getting better and better with it.
Right.
And but like, going back to the dawn of time, the technology always it changes the art world, but there's something magical about organic art. When photography came in, they thought that was going to put artists out of business, and that actually allowed art to open up, and you started getting the surrealists and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And artists then were able to do things that, or I should say, they pursued things that a camera couldn't capture.
Right.
And art actually became a lot more interesting after the introduction of the camera. So who knows how AI is going to factor into that?
Yeah, no, I that's a good point, because I know that there are a lot of artists that still work traditionally that have been talking about how they use AI for just ideas, pitch concepts into it to see what comes out for character design or those sorts of things, but then they complete the work traditionally, themselves, or even digitally themselves, but they're not using the AI thing, created thing as as the actual piece of art. And okay, I guess I could kind of see that, sometimes if you're in a creative rut, can't figure out, how you want to handle those shoulder pads on Red Sonja, tomorrow, because they want her in a battle suit, and you just type in, bikini babe with shoulder pads and see what comes out. It might inspire you in some weird way, but you're going to end up doing it traditionally. You're not going to settle on the work that was done in the AI program.
That's true.
So hey, I saw Eric Lee mention when we were talking about Red Sonja, he said that would love to see you draw an entire Red Sonja issue.
Me too. I would probably like to do like an annual or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And really give it my all. Just do like maybe a 40-page issue or something. Because while I'm working on the covers, I of course come up with story ideas. And a lot of people have worked on Red Sonja over the years, and I guess we all have our own take on what she should be. And I'd love to get my take on Red Sonja out there. I think
awesome.
I think there's a lot of humor in Red Sonja that a lot of people don't touch on. I mean, the chainmail bikini, it's ridiculous, but it's cool at the same time. So there's a lot to play with there.
Oh, heck yeah. And Conan could make a small appearance in there, and she could best him at pool or at a drinking game or something, right? I mean, you're right. I mean, I think everybody would enjoy seeing what your take on Red Sonja would be like. That's pretty cool. Somebody mentioned, what if you make AI art with the prompt "Cry for Dawn"? Is it just Linsner art? Well, pretty much, I would think. I mean, how many other people have actually even done any Dawn art, published work out there? I would assume maybe cover somewhere here or there? But
A very small handful.
yeah,
It's probably like 95 to 99% me. You know, there have been a couple of pinups. I mean, I did one comic that had a Adam Hughes pinup, a Brian Stelfreeze pinup, a Michael Golden pinup, Jay Geldof, a couple other guys. But most of the work has been me, and I've seen some convention sketches people have done, but not too many.
I feel like I haven't seen any, to be honest with you. That's but that's because it's such a signature character for you. You know, I guess I could see people once or twice, you know, asking for it, but the idea of anybody else drawing Dawn is hard for me to even wrap my head around. Just I can't picture her any other way than when you draw her.
That's good. I like it that way.
Yes, that's cool. So we've never really had any Dawn artwork. I mean, I think we've talked about this before. You pretty much keep the majority of the Dawn artwork that you have today. I mean, is that true as far as
yeah. I mean, I'll do smaller commission pieces, which I do sell those frequently, but the published stuff, I'd say again, like 99% of that I've held on to. I sold one of the original Cry for Dawn covers, which I do regret. I think I sold the cover for Cry for Dawn #6, which I think somebody talked me into selling it because that's probably my least favorite of the 9 Cry for Dawn covers, and I sold it, and then like within a couple of months I was like, that was stupid. Why did I do that? And I wish I had that back.
That was their favorite of the bunch?
No, that was my least favorite.
That was the one that you would, the one that you would have.
Yeah, the one I sold was my least favorite of the bunch. But yeah, I wish I had that one back.
Right. No, I get it. I mean, I think it's fantastic that you've kept, all, the majority of the artwork from your own creation. I mean, that doesn't happen too often. And, if I'm ever in the neighborhood, I'd love to see it someday.
Oh, sure. Definitely. But yeah, I mean, in terms of holding on to my artwork, I was very inspired by Will Eisner, who I believe held on to all of his Spirit artwork until he was, in his 80s or whatever. And then he just said, it's time to sell. And it was a fantastic, retirement package. And Frazetta, he's held on to, now his family, the estate, has so much of the artwork. And, I think they just let a piece out every now and again. But the last one sold for like $5 million or something.
Yeah, I think the last one was 5 or 6 that the estate put out there. There was one in the last Heritage Signature auction, or 2 maybe, that didn't reach its reserve. They had started it at like 1.5 million. I don't know if that was from the family or if that was just a regular consigner, but I know the family doesn't let them out too often, and definitely wouldn't let them go for on their own for a lot of money. But that's good at the end of the day. I mean, shoot, they got a legacy, and that's like having gold bars in your back room at the end of the day. So yeah, but that's great. But so like we talked about that, the Harley Quinn pages. I mean, we got these 5 today, and I think it's just awesome because never seeing any real interior work for you. It was fun getting to see those pieces from the the show that we did 6 months ago, and then having 5 more here again is just, I think it's wonderful to have your interior work out there on the market, because I know if I go to CAF and try to search on anything interior wise, we're not going to see much.
Yeah, but because again, most of my comic pages have been on Dawn, but with Harley Quinn, I can't do anything with those pages if it gets reprinted in France or whatever. That's all DC taking care of that, and DC has a very nice royalty program, so that's nice. But in terms of the originals, they're meant to be sold.
Right, exactly. So I feel like the last time I saw you at a show was in 2022 at Heroes. Have you done a lot of shows in the last 12 months?
No, I have not. Actually, I think the last show I did was in Dallas last November. Yeah, one of Mark Walter's shows. And I planned on doing shows this year, but one thing or another just popped up. And yeah, it was actually, it's been nice this year to take a break from shows. Because, God, the first show I ever did was in November 1987. and I think in 1996 I took a year off, and then this year I've taken off. So it actually I'm excited about going out there again. And next year I'm going to be doing a lot of shows to sign books and meet the people.
Hey, well, I mean, it's good to take a year off. What was your first show? Where was that? Do you remember?
Oh, back in 1987?
Yeah.
That was at the Creation Thanksgiving Con at the Penta Hotel in New York.
Oh my gosh.
And
you're old enough to have set up at a Creation Con. I'm not that I've gone there. I went to one. No, I think I went to 2 Creation Cons in Cleveland. So not many people even around here or in the chat probably have been to Creation Cons before. So you actually got to set up at one.
Oh yeah, and those guys were actually very generous towards me. They used to have a store on Long Island where they ran the conventions out of the back room, and the front was a comic book store. And I went in there and met Adam Malin, one of the owners. And at the time, I was working in an auto parts warehouse. And I showed him my work, and they're like, "Hey, kid, we'll give you a table." And they gave me a free table, and I had no idea, what to expect. And over the course of that weekend, I made $1,000. And I was bringing home, I think, $150 after taxes at my warehouse job. So that was like, wow.
Quit working at the warehouse. Wow, that's great. But what were you drawing back then? Just the like fan art, just any of the characters that
yeah. And I think the price list, I think, was $5 for a pencil sketch, $10 for an inked sketch, and then $15 for a color sketch. And I did a lot of sketches, and I had actually had the idea to sell hand-colored Xeroxes back then. And it was just like a black and white Xerox on decent paper, and I would hand color it, and I would sell those for $5. And those pop up every now and again.
Okay.
Because I did, really popular characters like Batman, RoboCop, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, all those guys. And people, I'll at least once a year somebody will email me and say, "Is this an original, or is this what is this thing?" And because it's hand colored, so it has the organic quality of
right
of something real. But if you look carefully, you'll see that the lines are printed on there.
Yeah. And
I sold those for $5 a piece, which everybody who bought one was very thrilled with it. I never tried to pretend that they were originals. Right. I said, I had a little sign, hand colored prints, and I sold a mountain of those back in the day.
Yeah, I think somebody asked me about a Phoenix or something once, and I shared it with you, and you said, "No, that's one of my hand-colored prints."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are you going to do, right? To have stuff like that out there, questions that you'll have to answer probably through for the remainder of your career when they pop up. But hey, if it was good enough for Frazetta, it was good enough for you. I mean, Frazetta did that with some of the print jobs that were run. He did some hand coloring on them, and
I think his famous
which cover was that? I don't remember.
Was it the science fantasy with the guy, the spaceman fighting the cavemen?
Yeah, on the cliff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he did a hand colored edition of that, like maybe 50 of them or something.
Right.
And Barry Smith also did some hand colored prints.
So see, it was sort of normal, at least back then. Like Ron Lim says, he's gone to many Creation Cons. Well, that just, again, you're showing your age, Ron. But those were fun back in the, I enjoyed those a lot. I think that was the first con I went to was a Creation Con, and just very different than the shows of today. And what else we got there? Yeah, you are old. That's right. So
actually, I think the very first con I ever attended as a fan was in 1981. Again, the Thanksgiving Con for Creation at the New York Penta, and yeah, that was amazing. Seeing that whole world at that time. My comic buddy at the time was my cousin, who was a year or two older than me, and he called me up one day and said, "Joe, guess what? We're going to a comic convention." Really? And we made a whole big day of it, and the two of us went, bopped around Manhattan. It was really cool. I think I had $30 on me, and got a big stack of comic books. That was awesome.
I was gonna say,
First,
$30 in 81 would have went pretty far.
oh yeah, yeah. The first professional I met was Keith Pollard,
Oh, cool.
who was drawing Thor at the time, which I was totally in love with, and I stupidly thought he would look like Thor, and it turns out Keith Pollard is an African American gentleman, and he's a very big, burly guy, looked like Rosie Greer.
Right.
And I was expecting long hair and a helmet.
Yes, everybody looked like the characters they were drawing. No, I love Pollard's run on Thor. One of my favorites, because Thor was the first book where I had a complete run of from Journey in the Mystery up until whatever current issue that was. So by 84, but I love Pollard's run on Thor. He was definitely meant to work on that book. I mean, the stories were fun for that era, and his art was top notch. I loved his stuff.
Yeah, and Thor number 300 for me is still one of the all-time coolest comic books. When Odin takes on the Eternals, and or I should say the Celestials, and that whole I get goosebumps whenever I think of that comic book. It is so awesome.
Yeah, the cover
major influence on me.
For sale. Yeah, that's same here. I couldn't wait for that issue to come out, and I was so happy. It was oversized. The cover was phenomenal. I remember talking, because when we looked at that piece in the Heritage Signature auction, I pointed out and said Pollard had, Pollard's following guys like John Buscema and Kirby, and you can think of so many classic poses that those two guys did with Thor. And you look at that Thor 300 cover, and that was that was Pollard doing a classic pose on Thor that wasn't done by Buscema or Kirby, and that's hard to do, with characters that have such longevity out there and are in your mind. To have an artist come along and be able to make a image like that is equally as measurable as the artists that came before them. It's just, you don't have that opportunity too often, and then to be that creative with a character with that kind of pedigree is it's not easy. But Pollard was able to do that.
Yeah, and I think Pollard, you could definitely see a ton of Buscema in his work, but he took it in his own direction, which I really loved. Quite
true. Quite true. Yeah. What is this? Alberto says he'd love to see you draw Lady Sif. I know he misspelled it, sir, but Sif is what he was going for. Have you ever been asked that at a show?
I think maybe once, but I'd actually love to do a really nice Sif. Yeah, I'm a huge Thor fan.
You've had to have drawn like a Hela or something, right? I can't imagine.
Oh yeah, I've drawn Hela. I've drawn Odin. Drawn Thor a bunch of times. But yeah, I should do a really nice Sif. That'd be cool.
And I saw somebody, I remember back when we did the show before, we talked about the show that I'm doing in January. We haven't talked about that show since then. So I saw somebody asking, is this where Bill's going to announce that Joe's going to OEX? And I'm like, you know what? Joe and I haven't talked about it since I mentioned it to you. I don't even know if you're free. You're probably busy, and I don't know. So we'll have to talk after the show about that.
Okay.
Or do you want to turn me down right now? Or were you planning on coming, because we talked about it 6 months ago and we haven't talked about it?
I'm pretty sure that I'm in.
Good. Then there you go, everybody. We can announce it right now, because I always left a space for you. I just never, I'll tell you, this has been the busiest thing that I've tackled, I think, ever. I mean, for all the different things that I've got going on, trying to put a show together is a monumental task. I mean, wedging it in with all the, if that was the only thing I was doing, it'd be great, right? But you're doing with all the interview shows I do, and just maintaining CAF. It's been a lot more than I was expecting. Fortunately, though, since the last time we talked, I hired a CEO, Kazra Gambari. I don't know if you know him, but he's been a collector for a long time. He's the MODOK guy on CAF. So if you ever Google MODOK art, on Google, I'm sure his pieces will be the ones that always end up popping up. But he started working with me in the late winter on the show, and the more we kind of worked together, and everything kind of just felt like this, this is a good relationship. So we talked about it more, and so I've kind of brought him in to kind of run everything, with me kind of being able to do more of what I enjoy doing. But it still hasn't lightened my load at all. In fact, I think it's increased it, actually, because he's come in with a lot more ideas and everything. But he's been helping out a lot with OAX and a few other things that we've got going on here. But Joe, I'm so happy that Alberto reminded me to make that confirmation, because we want you here. So
very cool.
So we will definitely talk more after the show and give you some more, details on what's been going on. But it's going to be fun. Jimmy and Amanda are going to be there. I know you're really good friends with them, and
love them.
I think there's going to be a lot of it's going to be a really great show for the artists in attendance, because I think the mix that we have coming in is just going to be, people that you enjoy hanging out with, and maybe some people you haven't gotten to meet before. I think it's going to be enjoyable for everybody.
Very cool.
Marcus
Very
says
cool.
Opportunities. Marcus, you can never say never, but we will talk about that with Joe afterwards. But right now we have art that we need to probably be getting to. We're 26 minutes into this, and again, we have 40 pieces of art to look at, with the first 5 pieces being auction, pieces. So, Alberto, yes, thank you so much. So let me go ahead and remind everybody the rules of the day here with regards to sales shows here. I got to get to the right slide. I should let you know that Joe does actually have all the art with him, and we've done this with the shows that we do with Joe. As soon as the show is over, Joe has the artwork in the mail to me for the pieces that have sold, usually by like Tuesday or Wednesday. As you know, we always give people a few extra days after the show has been completed to watch it, on the rewind. And if there's pieces still available, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. And if they're still available, we can work out a deal after the show. So typically, Joe will have the artwork in the mail by Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll have it by Friday, and we ship artwork probably the following Monday, Tuesday after that. If you do claim any artwork, you're going to email me after the show, bill@comicartfans.com, and let me know which artworks you've claimed. Everything is numbered today on the 40 lots that we've got, or 41 lots that we've got. Payment needs to be made within 48 hours after the show. We accept Zelle and Venmo, and those don't carry a fee. We prefer that. And I'll even take a personal check, everybody, as long as you put the check in the mail by Friday morning. We want to avoid fees around here, but if we do have to use PayPal, there is a service fee of 4% US, 5.5% international. And for those of you in Canada, you are international, just making you aware of that. Also, as far as the shipping goes, once the art is in hand, it's all going to be shipping from CAF HQ right here. I ship everything in Masonite, well packaged, and take care of making sure that there's no way the postman can lose it on a shelf, because we put yellow tape around it so people will not misplace it in any way. Domestic shipping is $30, international $65. Of course, if you win multiple lots, it's all combined. We don't upcharge anything there. And outside of that, I think that probably covers everything. Now, like I mentioned, we're going to auction off the first 5 pieces that we've got tonight. And they are published interiors from Harley Quinn. I think it's issue 16. I'll know on the slide when we get there. I think we last time we did these, we started the bidding basically at $400. They all went for around $1,000. So I figure we can do the same. Just remember on the bidding, everybody, don't try to snipe on it. At the end of the day, if somebody outbids you, if you put a bid in and somebody outbids you, put your bid in immediately. Because at the end of the day, we're a few seconds in the future. And if I say I'm going to give it a 5 count and I count down, by the time I hit 0, it's only saying 5 to you, right? So we're going to be done. And I'm going to have to say it goes to the other guy because you put your bid in late, and we don't want that. So don't try to snipe. Put your best, bid, and if you can, put your best bid in there early. At the end of the day, we know where these things should go. So, do that. And I would say, before we get started, if you look right down in that corner on YouTube, there's the word live. Click that, because that will move you ahead. You may be a few seconds behind everybody based on how, when you joined YouTube, it's just put you at a little bit of a delay. It's either that or you can hit refresh in your browser or whatnot, and that'll get you as current as possible. That way you're as competitive as you can be and as close to real time as most other people in the chat. So I hope everybody goes ahead and does that. And Marcus, I do. Thank you very much for saying that. Yeah, tongue in cheek as always, Marcus. I do. Marcus keeps us all on our toes here in the chat, and a good ribbing is usually had once or twice by him throughout any given broadcast that we do here. So like we said, we're going to start off, and I've basically, with the first 5, I've just put them as A, B, C, D, and E. We don't need to say, bid on A, bid 500A or whatever. Just if you put $500 in while the art's on the screen, we know what your bid is, and that you're talking about the piece we have on the screen. When we get to the claim side of things, of course, you need to be able to, we want you to put the lot number in when you're claiming artwork. So here we'll kind of go into the auction portion of this to get us started. So let's start the bidding at $400 on this. So this is lot A. It's from Harley Quinn 16. This is the 2016 series, and this is page 4 from that. This was I actually went and read through a couple of these issues, and it was kind of a time jumping sort of set of a pair of stories, or one story, but you did one of the storylines in it, and there was somebody else who did another. If I'm not mistaken, but I forget who the other artist team was.
Yeah, they at the time, I think they were working with 3 different artistic teams, and my one storyline dealt with the character Batfan, who comes from a future where I believe Harley Quinn ultimately killed Batman, and so there's this whole group of people who despise Harley Quinn, and they want to go back in time and Terminator style and take out Harley Quinn before she can kill Batman. And so this character, I believe, fights for the right for the position to be the one who goes back in time.
That's right. And I think at the end of the sequence, she makes that statement that she's going to be going back in time.
Yeah, and she fights this other big thug. And this was so much fun. I really loved working on this.
All right. Well, we're not getting any bids to get things started off today, everybody, and that's okay. We'll just look at this one for a few more seconds, then we'll move on to the other 4 pieces that we have for auction. Remember, all these ones will start at 400. And if we don't get any bids, they stay with Joe. Or unless Joe has any other thoughts on that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the next piece, because this is all in sequence. These are 5 pages in order. So that was page 4. Then this is page 5, where that battle actually gets started. So going into the arena, and again, this is a fun page. On the tonal side of this, I mean, is this done with Copic or what is the actual medium that you're using here?
This is Copic alcohol-based markers.
Okay.
With maybe various bits of white acrylic paint for highlights.
Very nice.
But this is the gray tones. That's how I've been doing my black and white comics since the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
With alcohol-based markers. And Jimmy told me he always liked my fully rendered pages. So this sequence was done in gray tones and then computer colored instead of doing it in line art.
Now, with the computer coloring, I mean, I assume this wasn't you, right? Did you work with somebody for this, or?
Was it Paul Mounts?
I think that might be right. I was trying to. I didn't leave my window open that had it, but I think that is correct.
Yeah, I was actually very happy with the job they did. I thought the pages looked great.
Agreed. All right. Well, this is B. No bids on this one either. So we're going to keep rolling through here. Again, we want like a $400 starting bid on these. We can take a look at lot C here next. This is third page in the sequence. Bit brutal. This lets you know that it's not going to be an easy match when they actually have sharp edged weapons as part of the rumble going on here.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
And actually, I see TMD1 lot B said $400 as a bid, so we've already moved on from lot B. So I guess we're going to stick with that as the bid on that one, Joe. So that's a broken ice there at that level.
Okay.
So so this is our third piece, C, being offered again. We'd like everybody to start at a $400 price point. And these are 11 by 17. I didn't note it on any of the slides, but all the sizes on the artwork that we're presenting from you has always been 11 by 17. Correct?
Yes, and these pages are done on official DC Comics artboard, and the reason none of the standard light blue text is on them because I did these on the back of the pages because when you do gray tones, blue will actually show up.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So in order to keep the the little dotted lines and everything that are on a standard comic page, in order to keep that from not printing, it was smarter to do it on the back of the page.
Now, how do you handle prelims? I mean, do you work right on the board as far, or do you kind of work this out somewhere on something else and then transfer it to the board?
I actually draw everything usually on 8.5 by 11 paper, and then I'll scan that in and then blow that up to 11 by 17 and then light box it onto the finished board.
Oh, cool.
And I actually have a big pile of those smaller pages, which I will be selling at some point.
I was going to, I was thinking that I'm like, you know what, you should hold on to those because, I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who like process stuff, right? I mean, and those are usually, like you just mentioned, they're in pencil probably, or, whatever your medium of choice is when you're doing those prelims, but they're going to be the early idea that makes up the pages. And there's a lot of collectors who love to pick up, prelim pieces from interiors or covers.
Yeah, and those are actually done in ballpoint pen because I don't like actually drawing in pencil. And
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I just like the glide of a ballpoint pen better. And I think Gil Kane used to do the same thing. He would draw everything like on typing paper and then blow it up. And I think with Gil Kane, he just like went straight to ink.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like repencil or anything. He just dove right in there.
Very cool. Well, we're going to go to lot D here next. So we've got 2 more lots that we are starting at $400 on bidding. If you are interested, this one's probably got the most action and the most gore in it all at once. I mean, when somebody loses a part of their ankle practically, and then take 4 sharp claws to the throat. I think that this might be one of the more violent pages we've ever shown on the show here. But I mean, when you're getting this script from Jimmy and Amanda, I mean, what's it like? I mean, this is a 5-page sequence really, or a 4-page fight sequence, but how do they lay it out? I mean, in terms of giving you direction on what they want to see you draw.
They're pretty specific, and I prefer working from a fuller script. And the way it would usually work with Jimmy and Amanda is they would write up a full script, and then they would actually even break it down into panels, and I would very often add panels. Like I think this page has 7 panels, and it might have only been scripted for like maybe 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
But to get more detail into the action, I'll add extra panels. And then once I'm all done with the artwork, then they'll do another pass with the script. And they'll either maybe take a word balloon out or add a word balloon or add a caption or something like that to fine tune it. And that's one of the great things about working with Jimmy and Amanda is, that extra attention to detail, that extra care, which I think, makes a much better finished product.
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, with their time in the business, I can, I guess, I mean, everybody probably develops their own way of working, but it's kind of cool knowing that they script it out that well, that they really know what they want. And but I'm sure it still gives you a little bit of freedom to kind of play around with things. But yeah, this is a great page.
Yeah, I'm really proud of this page.
Let's see here. So, but we don't have a bid on it. We don't have a bid on this one either, everybody. So we're going to take a look at the last piece, and that that we're doing as far as auctioning goes. And this is page 8 from that same story. This is one where she right at the end, it's like, congrats, and then she's like, but I'm going to kill Harley. She's going to go back into that. But yeah, no, again, this is a good one. The guy, did they actually give you the specs on the Batman character? I mean, was he supposed to have that spiky codpiece?
No, that's all me.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, they're all competing to be the Batman Avenger, so to speak. So everybody, you know, all the different combatants, they do their own Batman homage outfits, and I think this guy has a little bat symbol on his goatee.
Yes,
And
indeed.
yeah, it was actually fun coming up with these various goofy looks for these guys.
I was going to highlight this. Marcus mentioned nice Dawn reference with the blood drop.
Oh yeah.
Did Jimmy and Amanda say anything about that when they saw the art?
Jimmy may have laughed about it. I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, nothing passes Marcus in the chat. He typically sees all of that. And I see Michael would like to be able to get the lot C at 400. So I guess since we don't have anybody else bidding on that one, Michael, we can say that. But no one has made a bid on either D or E. So we're going to, I guess we're going to move on from the auctions here, everybody. And let's see, I've highlighted that one, and I will hide this slide here. So, all right. So now we get into the fixed price stuff, and we've got 36 pieces of art to look at here, Joe. And I think all of it is cover work. A lot of it for Dynamite. I saw there was a few. There was another Frazetta piece or two, maybe just one.
Yeah, I think there are two pieces for. Oh, what the heck? They do the Death Dealer comic. I can't remember the name of the company.
There was a Dark Horse cover.
No, it's not Dark Horse. Actually, the
I think with the
let's
other
see,
one
the Steed and Peel cover is that was Boom, and then the Space Truckers or Space Truckin' is for the same company that I did the Dawn Attack cover for. What's the name of that company?
Space Truckin'. I know I'm gonna have to go back and look at the cover because I did download it. Here we go. Let's see. Opus. There we go. Yes. Now, is that somebody you'd worked with before?
They yeah, it's funny. The people who run Opus, they worked with for a while. Heavy Metal Magazine had a line called Magma.
I've heard of that,
comic books, and I did 1 or 2 covers for them. And then they branched off and they did Opus, and so yeah, I've worked with the people before, but it's yeah, I think the company's only 1 year old, 2 years old.
Oh, cool. Well, since the pandemic, there have been several small publishing houses that have kind of come out. There, and heck, even in New York, they announced a few new ones too. So it's nice to see some independent publishers out there doing new work. I had not heard of Space Truckin' until I saw your cover.
Yeah, I think that has just been advertised.
Okay.
Because I think I did that cover last month.
Yeah, actually, it says it's coming out November 15th in shops. So that's brand spanking new. Nobody has gotten to see this before. And I saw James Bell had put a bid on D. So okay, we've got that, James. Thank you. Now, all right. Well, let's just dive into it. And now, like I mentioned earlier, I kind of went low to high, and then I think I end with about 6 pieces where it's going to kind of meander around a little bit because I got a few pieces a little late from Joe because I didn't ask for them early enough, and so like that. But so it's not grouped by character or title. Initially, it's mostly just by price as we get diving into this. And I know with this first piece, I think we saw this at the last show, and we did lower the price on it going into this one as well. This was lot number 1. This is the cover to Bettie Page and the Alien Agenda, and to issue 4. We have this one priced at $1,800, and I know we talked a lot about Bettie Page in the last show, but I mean, again, you're one of the best pinup artists out there, Joe. I mean, and you're just meant, I think, to work on a Bettie Page book, and you draw her so well. I mean, you can think of. Dave Stevens, of course, we definitely meant to draw her as well, but I can't think of anybody else besides you that should be allowed to work on the character, at least on covers, man. At least on covers. So I mean, for you, I mean, how often have you, before you did this series of Bettie Page stuff, was there any other Bettie Page work that you had done that was published?
Nothing published. No, a couple of private commission pieces over the years, and yeah, I've always loved Bettie Page, and I think like many people, I was introduced to her through The Rocketeer. I didn't know who she was before I had read The Rocketeer, and yeah, if you actually look through old publications from the 50s and into the early 60s, she was everywhere. She was truly the queen of the American pinup after Marilyn Monroe. I would say she definitely gets the number 2 spot.
That is for sure. So this one again, lot number 1, priced at $1,800. And if I should have mentioned this as well, since we do have so many lots today, it's always good to have be taking notes, however you want to do that, whether it's a notepad and a pen or pencil, or if you're doing it on your computer, just so you can see, make notes of the pieces you're interested in. You can claim pieces at any time you want. This was lot 1. So what we want you to do when you do claim any artworks is just type claim and the lot number in the chat. And that way we know which piece you're talking about, because you can pretty much claim anything at any time during the show after we've shown it. So let's go ahead and take a look at lot number 2. This is the piece we were just talking about, Space Truckin', Space Truckin' number 1, due out in less than a month in stores, but you got to do one of the covers for this. And so, with a character like this that you've never drawn from on a book, I mean, what kind of material did they give you to as far as this one-eyed Cyclops space creature in the background, and then for the main figure?
Yeah, they sent me I think maybe like 10 pages from the interior, and yeah, this is actually a scene from the comic book where the main character has this big Cyclops guy, creep up on her. Yeah, I think this is going to be a more lighthearted comic book, and I believe with Opus they're trying to diversify their line of books. They have the Death Dealer, which is of course very somber and very very serious, and this is more like an action comedy type thing.
Right. When I saw this, I thought of Wrightson in a weird way, just his heavy metal humor. But yeah, no, this is a good one. Yeah, I have it listed as cover D. Marcus says it should be cover double D. Thank you, Marcus. Best Cyclops ever. Yes, exactly. He also doesn't like Cyclops from the X-Men. He knows Cyclops is like one of my favorite X-Men. So I knew this was a piece of art meant specifically for him, one way or another. But so lot 2, priced at $1,800, Space Truckin' number 1. And we'll go ahead and take a look. Now, this is a couple, the 3 and 4 are actually from the same title. So lot 3 here is Jennifer Blood issue 2. And great. This is a fun cover. Obviously, the grenade with the skull on it, perfect. And she's got the pin in her teeth. This is it's just a fun image, man. I love it.
Oh, thanks, Bill. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to draw, an iconic, classic pose type cover, but I like to mix it up and get some action in there. And yeah, I'm actually very proud of the way the dynamics of this cover.
Yeah, no, it is very nice. Bringing the high heat there. A grenade in the cover. Hadn't noticed. Come on, you can't miss the grenade. It's in your face, Alberto. So this one's priced at $1,800. The cover to Jennifer Blood number 2, and a fastball special, says James Bell. You got that right, man.
A fastball special, very nice.
So let's see here. Yes, Jerry Bourne wanted to know all the covers are 11 by 17. Absolutely.
Yes, they are.
I mean, do you? Is it all going to be like DC stock, whatever you have laying around, or how do you buy like the off-brand Bristol, or is there a Bristol of choice for you when you're working on these?
I usually get Strathmore.
Okay, so yep.
Yeah, 2-ply vellum finish, which is nice and sturdy. Yeah, it's a good solid board, but it still works with my Lightbox because I like to do all my construction on a separate piece of paper, and usually smaller, and then I blow it up, and I'll bring the sketch into Photoshop and I'll fix whatever is wrong with the anatomy or whatever by moving things around, and then I just print that out at 11 by 17 and just render it right onto the board.
Sure.
And that actually allows the finished board to be a lot cleaner, because going back to the old days, one of the things I hated the most about doing a comic book was having to erase everything when you're all done with it. Like if I did an issue of Cry for Dawn,
Right.
I would wait until I did the entire book, and then it's like, well, it's got to go to the printer. Let me erase everything. And maybe that was stupid to do like 4 hours of erasing in one day, but it would kill my arm. I couldn't stand it.
You need to hire somebody to do the erasing for you.
I tried that. I tried the very first time I tried working with an assistant. I got this girl I know, or knew, to help me, and she did a terrible job of it. So I was stuck doing it all by myself.
Well, that's a task you would have thought somebody could have gotten, done pretty well with a little direction. But hey, I mean, sometimes those jobs are best done by you. All right, well, let's take a look at lot number 4. Lot 3 is still out there, of course, at $1,800. So this is lot 4. This is the cover to Jennifer Blood 3, priced at $1,800 as well. 3 bullet holes in the skull there, and maybe in the jaw, since it's the lower jaw and the mandible, since it's missing. But very fun piece here. I wasn't able to locate the published cover on this one when I was digging around through Google Images, but it was
actually that's because this cover just got finished up last week.
Oh,
and it's not even been advertised yet.
There we go. And I know we have a few other pieces like that in the set here. So you guys are getting a first look then at this particular cover, because it has not even been put out there in Previews World or anything like that yet.
Yeah, I don't even know if Nick Verrucci has seen this one yet.
So I had asked Nick a few questions earlier today. So you're right. He may not know. He may not have seen it. So a lucky cube, says James Bella. Yep, that is one lucky cube. Not a lucky foe there though, with that skull in place. And as we know, I cannot buy that one because Maureen, my wonderful wife, does not allow me to own any artwork with skulls in it.
No skulls.
No skulls. But maybe I can own it, but it can never be on the wall. All right, so moving right along, we're going over to lot 5 here next, and lot 5 is a cover to Red Sonja, or not Red Sonja, Hell Sonja. Sorry.
Hell Sonja.
It's Hell Sonja issue 3, and the cover for this one. This one is priced at $2,000, and I like this one. This one has reminded me of like a something that you would see on a 90s or 80s video game box. It just the creatures were kind of creepy, with the wings and the skulls and the vertebrae for a tail there. I mean, I thought this overall image was just really fun, and I like the color version too. Now, when you give them, I assume you do the coloring. We know that you do the digital work afterwards when you're working on these covers that aren't done edge to edge, but you do all the coloring there as far as that red in the background.
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, and that I mean, the reason it's not fully painted is totally a time saver.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to move things along. I wouldn't be able to do 5 or 7 covers a month if I had to fully paint everything. But through the glory of Photoshop and computer technology, I'm able to get a fully rendered image.
Oh yeah, I don't think this is you've been working in this manner for quite some time, and I think that it suits the process. I mean, at the end of the day, when we're the ones getting to buy the original art. I mean, we're always going to be focused on the figure anyway, and by the way you've done it, I mean, it just makes a whole lot of sense. And then from a production side of things, like you just said, you wouldn't be able to do 5 or 7 covers a month if you were filling them in and doing them 100% traditional. So no, these things are great, and yeah, you're a master of the Copic markers with your subtle shading in the female form and the male form too. We won't
thanks, Bill.
Yep. It is very good. And Nick may be getting a perm. He's been talking about getting a perm for quite some time, I think, but maybe he's finally taken it. And I'm going to throw this out there so everybody can rib Nick the next time they see him. Because I'm doing a show with Nick on October 30th, right at 9 p.m. And I asked him if he'd come dressed as Dracula, but he didn't even answer me. Wouldn't he make a great Dracula? I mean, he kind of got, he's kind of got the complexion for it. He's got the dark hair. I could just picture him in a cape and decked out as Dracula, and he would be perfect. But I don't think he's going to be dressing up, unfortunately, that night. But if everybody pushes, gives him a little pressure, maybe he'll wear some vampire teeth or something for us.
I actually like to see Nick do the classic Bela Lugosi with the big amulet.
Yes, exactly. Oh man, I could actually here. Let me see here. I hate to slow the show down at all here, but I made an image for Nick, and I don't think we're not going to go with it for the show, but I thought it was fantastic. Maybe I didn't have it set up to be able to show it off to everybody, but I thought it was perfect. But he sent me a different photograph to use. Let me see here. No, I don't have it queued up.
And the name Count Bellucci. It actually has a certain ring to it.
Count Bellucci. Yes, I like that. It does. That
Count Bellucci.
Man, yeah, he is. Oh wait, here it is. I did find it. Here we go. This was the rejected cover of the show that we were going to do. That we are going to do. See, isn't that perfect? I mean, come on. He would be a perfect vampire for Halloween. I could just see him answering the door to the little trick-or-treaters, and handing out candy dressed as the Count. But
Spook and Cellar with Count Bellucci.
see Nick, Nick is here. He did just get here in time. I'm sorry, Nick. I hope I did not mean to embarrass you in any way. But I did feel like you weren't here with us. So my apologies, sir.
Very nice.
All right. So all right, we'll continue on with the show here. I do have to Photoshop some teeth into that one. You're absolutely right, Eric. All right, let me switch back over to here. Get over to where we left off. Here we go. Different title here. This is Lot 6. This is Sheena Fatal Exams issue 5 cover. This one's priced at $2,000. You got a very shocked chimp in this one. I can hear him screaming right now. So on a cover like this, were you given the story, or did they ask you to draw the chimp in there as well?
Yeah, they actually gave me a very detailed synopsis of the issue, and I believe in this cycle of Sheena, she goes back to school, and I think this is the climactic last issue, and everything goes crazy, and the police show up, and there are screaming monkeys and chaos all around. So yeah, that I tried to capture in the cover just the lights and the monkey, and Sheena, of course, ready for action as always.
Absolutely, scantily clad but ready to go. Where does she put that knife when she's not carrying it? Does she have something in her boot or
she probably slips it right into her waistband.
Wow, that's that sounds dangerous, but but fitting, very fitting. And another Dynamite cover here as well. So this is Lot 6, priced at $2,000. Sheena Fatal Exams issue 5. Let's go take a look at Lot 7 next. And I think this is one we had on before. We've lowered the price on this one. This is priced at $2,000 from Chasing the Dragon issue 1. This is a cover to that. And again, a wonderfully drawn female form with bat wings. So love the coloring on this one.
Yeah, I'm actually really proud of this one.
Now this was for a different publisher. This is one of the few non-Dynamite books that we're going to be looking at today.
Yeah, I think this was Magma, the heavy metal.
Yes.
Imprint.
And
this book was written by Denton Tipton.
Oh yeah. No, this is a great piece. Now, on this one, did they? I assume they had to have given you some character designs for this before you could jump in and work on it.
Yes, and this actually was for a second printing of the first issue, because I think it sold so well they went back to print. And so yeah, I was able to read the entire first issue, and then come up with my cover concept from there.
Sweet.
And that's not always possible because a lot of the times the book is still being put together when I'm needed to provide a cover.
Right, exactly. You're coming in very early in the whole process. So this one, I think you're right. I think when I read about this one, it was the second printing. So you that worked out well to your advantage. Does she present well? Yes, I know. I've made that mistake a few times, Joe, of saying, "Wow, presents well." So it's now a running joke here. But yes, she does present well. I'll give you that. But so does this next one. So lot number 8. This is a stunning Bettie Page Alien Agenda issue 1 cover. She's fantastic. I mean, look at the little seashells on her hips there. I mean, this is fun. I mean, and again, I'm sure they didn't ask for that accessory in this one, or did they? Did they say she needed the seashells as part of this?
I'm trying to remember. I know with all the other covers in the Alien Agenda series, they all had a theme. Like it's like, okay, Bettie Page in Egypt, Bettie Page in ancient Mexico, Bettie Page in ancient Rome or ancient Greece. So they may have actually suggested something aquatic, something not a literal mermaid, but something by the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I love Bettie Page. I love drawing Bettie Page and getting to come up with like her seashell outfit, that kind of stuff. That yeah, I have a blast with that.
And she's got fish netting on her arms there. That's a smart choice as well. So yeah, needs an aquabong, Marcus. That's another thing going there. Prince Namor says this is his favorite Linsner cover, but doesn't have the money. Wow, that's saying something, Namor. Given all as many covers as Joe has done in his career, well, this one's out there. I could tell you if you were interested, we could probably work out a short time payment schedule. But yep, that one's out there. Lot number 8, Bettie Page Alien Agenda issue 1 cover. And now we have another Bettie Page lot here. This is lot number 9. This is the cover to Bettie Page 4, priced at $2,000. And yeah, ooh la la, as my friend Mike would normally say on another one of our shows. I mean, she's gorgeous in this sheer one piece.
Yeah, once again, trying to skate along that delicate line between naked and clothed, and spray on clothing, as they say.
Nothing wrong with that. Not at all. This is this is a great image, and I like what you did with the background on there as well. I mean, it's not part of the artwork, but when you did the digital work, it just came out perfect.
Oh, thanks, Bill.
So this one is lot 9, priced at $2,000. Bettie Page in Greece, and it's cold. Yeah, that prior one, I agree with you there, T-Tad. So let's take a look at lot number 10. Now, I don't think we've had anything from a James Bond title before, Joe. Was this kind of did you do other covers in this series?
Yeah, I think I did 4 covers.
Okay.
Or was it 5? 4 or 5. And yeah, they were a lot of fun. I love James Bond, and these were licensed through the publishing estate, so they couldn't have anything to do with the movies. If I had total freedom, I of course would have made my James Bond would have looked like Sean Connery, but couldn't do that because that's the movie license, which is a separate thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, luckily with the femme fatale here, I got to, just have fun with her. But on some of the other covers where James Bond features, he looks a little like Sean Connery, a little like actually Ian Fleming had always said that he based his James Bond on Hoagie Carmichael, who was an actor and a singer in the 50s. And so I tried to fused that a little bit with Sean Connery on my covers.
Hoagie Carmichael. Oh, I know who that is. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's kind of rugged, so that's nice. So Pierce Brosnan was not one of your Bond gentlemen that you would envision as being a Bond guy.
I actually I don't think I've actually seen any of the Pierce Brosnan Bond movies.
They are kind of forgettable.
Although I did like Casino Royale, the first Daniel Craig movie. I thought that was really, really good.
I agree. That one was, that one was. I think I watched that twice because it was that good. So Dalton is the best Bond, says Nick Barucci. All right, Dalton, it is in the Barucci house. So here we have lot 10, priced at $2,000. James Bond number 10 cover. Tom Presley wants to know, how do we bid claim on a piece? These are all the pieces we're showing right now are not for bid. They're all fixed priced artworks. And if you wanted to buy this one, you can see it says lot 10 on the slide. So you would just type claim and the lot number in the chat, and we would write your name down here. You would contact me after the show, bill@comicartfans.com, letting me know how to get in touch with you, and I'll set up the invoicing you after the show is over, Tom. So I think Nick was joking, Robert. At least I'd like to think that Dalton was not the best. But anyway, moving right along. So we'll take a look at lot 11 here. Going back over to Sheena with this one. This is the cover to Sheena 4. This one is priced at $2,500. And this is one of the few effectively edge-to-edge pieces, Joe, where you obviously did a little Photoshop work with the lighting for the published piece, but you did put in all of the blocking for that Mayan wall behind her. And it came out fantastic. I love it.
Oh, thanks, Bill. Yeah, I like this one.
And now we can see where where her dagger is at. And yes, it is on her hip. And with a spear as well. So yeah, this is another great piece. And yep, there's her knife sheath. Thank you, Jerry. So yeah, nice piece here, and this is lot 11. Again, priced $2,500. Cover to Sheena 4, and we have a lot more pieces to look at, everybody. We got 36 of these lots to go through, so we're going to take a look at another Sheena cover here. This is the cover to issue 9, and again, lot 12. This one's priced at $2,500 as well, and battling a serpent in this one that is constricting her in all the right ways, I'd say. This one was approved at Dynamite, and very well so. I mean, I think this is it's a good image, and I like the fact that you kind of put a bit of a background in her, even though the color changed a bit when you gave them the final version of it. This thing is it's wonderful. I love it. The way you handled the scales on the snake, the way you handled the water in there. I mean, it's really fun. The painterly approach that you take to all those things.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, those are things that I'm constantly experimenting with. There are 10 million different ways you can do water, and every time I get an opportunity to do something like that, I'll try something new. Yeah, and I like the way this turned out.
Yeah, Eric says that he doesn't want the serpent to lose too quickly. So yes, because obviously any of if there were any people here in the party that Sheena was with, they're just going to stand back and watch and wait for her to take care of this thing all on her own. So as far one thing that I noticed in a lot of your pieces, and I know this is an odd piece to mention it in, is that you're great at anatomy, Joe. I mean, you kind of know where all the muscles are placed, and I shouldn't be looking at this piece to be talking about that. I was looking at around the neck and everything. It's just you just have a knack, and especially in her shoulders, the shoulder muscles. I look at that and I think of like Bern Hogarth charcoal drawings, right? I mean, because that was kind of like in the dynamic figure drawing books that Bern Hogarth did. That's kind of how he would lay in the musculature of and the anatomy drawings that he would work on. I mean, is that something that just really comes natural after almost 40 years in comics, or how do you handle like a pose that's not normal for you, like sort of like this one? And do you have to like work it out? Do you look for reference, or how do you do that?
Well, let's see. Anatomy is something I'm perpetually working on. I'm perpetually learning new things, and the human body is the most complex machine in the universe. And I'd say once every couple of months, I'll figure something new out. Some little like, oh, so that this muscle connects here, and that's why this moves this way. Yeah, to me, that's a perpetual work in progress, and I'm glad. Thank you for the compliment that it seems to be working. But yeah, I look at my old stuff and I just want to shudder because I made tons of mistakes, and with any luck, 10 years from now, I'll be able to look at this stuff and say, oh my God, hopefully I'll keep improving and keep learning.
Sure.
And actually, that's one of the things I always tell young people if they ask me for advice. I say, work on your anatomy. Even if you choose to do, a more cartoony style, the more you know about anatomy, it'll actually come out in the artwork, and you'll like for example, Bruce Timm. His stuff is on the cartoony side, but you can tell he knows the human anatomy. And yeah, let's see. I have a bunch of anatomy books, which I'm constantly looking at. I actually have a couple of magazines on female bodybuilders, and I'm not attracted to female bodybuilders, but you do get to see the musculature. And it's funny, I'll look at female bodybuilders, not so much male bodybuilders, because the classic, Mr. Universe, that's too exaggerated, and I prefer my male figures to look more like gymnasts.
Sure.
Whereas, the big jumbo guys, they don't look like they can move. They're very impressive and everything, but they don't look agile.
Right.
And I prefer like the physique of either a swimmer or a gymnast. That to me is like the ideal male physique. And so I'll look at those guys.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, I actually have one of those 1/6 scale figures that it's I believe Hot Toys puts them out. It has fantastic anatomy. It's like a silicone rubber body over a metal frame. And if you move those guys around, you get a pretty good idea of how the musculature works. It's not perfect, but it's a good reference for, say, complex lighting or something.
I'll have to look it up. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They sell for, I don't know, like around $90 or so.
All right, making a note. I'm gonna check it out after the show. So we have another Sheena cover here coming up with lot 13. So let's take a look at that one. This is the cover to issue 7, priced at $2,500, and you've drawn a very nice Black Panther in this one as well. So and the cover, the published cover, looks fantastic. And it's funny, it's like in that one you kind of hinted at the green reflection in the knife. I mean, so did you know going into it that you were going to put some kind of a green background in digitally? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, with Sheena, there's always got to be some kind of green there, being the jungle queen and everything. And yeah, she's basically golden, and the panther is black, and the black, gold, and green go very well together.
Definitely. No, I can see. Yeah, I was kind of being dumb there, I guess, by not thinking that Sheena being in the jungle, she probably would be a green reflection no matter where she is in her blade. But yeah, no, very nice. And let's see here. Yep, that's it is. Prince Namer likes this one as well. Thank you, Prince Namer. So this is lot 13, Sheena number 7 cover, priced at $2,500. And this was done last year, 2022. Now we're going to switch over to some Red Sonja pieces here. I think we've got 4 in a row coming up. Lot 14 is next. This is the cover to Red Sonja 2. This one's priced at $2,500. So this is Red Sonja decked out in looks like she has some leather chaps of some sort and now this one I did not read the storyline on. Who's the other the young girl here with her in this?
This storyline was kind of it was almost like Red Sonja does the Mandalorian, where Mando has to look after Baby Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
Red Sonja has to look after this kid who these various guys are trying to kill. And this series was written and I believe designed by what's her name, Mirka and Draco.
It's close. I know that. Yeah, I saw that name on a lot of them.
Yeah, I can never pronounce her name properly, but yeah, she actually designed the outfit, and she just wanted Sonja to be a little less naked than she usually is.
No, nothing wrong with that. But she still at least kept her top, which is always important. So no, these are nice. This is the cover to issue 2, and this was a Dynamite book too, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was trying to. Usually they have that vertical logo in the upper left-hand corner of the book, and I didn't see that on there, so it made me wonder if I was mistaken about that. Okay. So lot 14 priced at $2,500, and I saw that Nick was heading out. And as a reminder to everybody, always remember to hit the thumbs up when you're watching on YouTube. Helps. It does help the algorithm a little bit, and it does get draw in more viewers while we're watching. I think we have about 85 people watching on YouTube and Facebook right now. So kind of a lone wolf and cub concept there. Mickey just mentioned in the chat. Yeah. Same idea. Mandalorian, lone wolf and cub, and Red Sonja and her young compatriot here. So we'll go ahead and take a look at lot 15 next. This is the cover to Red Sonja 5, $2,500 on this one as well, and she's pretty triumphant in this one.
Oh yeah, classic Frazetta type pose.
Mm-hmm. So something like this should be a statue, Joe.
You're right. This would actually make a very good statue.
Now, why? Have you ever had? I can't. Have you ever had any work done that was that you drew that was made specifically to be done into a statue, or have you had any of your work ever done, ending up in that kind of form? Because it's certainly, with the way you handle the figure, it just seems like you would be a natural to see a lot of your work end up in some kind of sculpted form.
Yeah, I've done both. I've designed things to be sculpted, and then I've had some pieces adapted into sculptures.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from Harley Quinn. I did this really nice Harley Quinn looking over her shoulder, holding a gun up. That got turned into a really nice PVC statue by Diamond Select. And I've done. God, there must be like 10 different Dawn statues at this point. And I think there was one Red Sonja statue adapted for one of my covers, but I don't think the sculptor really nailed it. But I'd love to see somebody else take another crack at it.
Well, this one definitely deserves to be. So this is lot 15, priced at $2,500. Take a look at lot 16, another Red Sonja cover here. This one. This was just gorgeous. Again, it's wonderful pose. You draw a very very well detailed sword. I mean, in all your stuff, and I love looking at a piece like this. I always love the fact that you add a little battle damage. There's nicks on the sword. There's usually nicks on her, nicks on her clothing. I mean, you don't miss any of the subtle details that that let you know the nature of the character and the things that they wield.
Thanks, Bill. I'm glad those things get noticed because, going back to my hero, Frank Frazetta, he always put those extra bits of texture in there.
So true, yeah.
I mean, if you look at the classic Conan the Barbarian, him standing on top of the mountain of bodies, he's scarred up left and right. He's got scars all over him. Indeed. And that to me, it just tells a more detailed story.
It does, yeah, and I think that, and it does. It shows in a lot of your work where you're really thinking about all of those things. And congrats to Robert Lane for picking this one up. You've been in the chat since we got started here, and this is a really, really, really nice piece. I mean, every one of them. I mean, this piece even stands alone, as a wonderful work of art, background or no background. I love, the parchment, effect that you've done there with the tapestry and just with the skull and wings. I mean, this is a really, this would look nice on the wall.
Very nice.
Let's see. So now we have one. I think we have a few more Red Sonjas, but this is the last in this little group that I had put together here. This is lot 17, priced at $2,500. This one's the cover to Red Sonja 9, and yeah, little bit of action going on in this one. But again, you look at this. You've got her. She's nicked up and bleeding a little bit, just enough to let you know that she's human. Probably, but she's probably going to behead this guy before his feet touch the ground, I imagine. Right. But yeah, yeah, I like this one a lot. The lighting on this one's fun. Of course, highlights her bosom, I guess. Yes, I said bosom here, everybody. I feel like I'm back in the 50s. But yeah, this is a very nicely done piece. On 11 by 17, we should probably always remind ourselves to stress that. I think if I can remember the next time we do a show, Joe, I'll actually write it or put 11 by 17 on all these slides, so it's always known that these are 11 by 17 pieces. So see, this is why she shouldn't bother wearing clothes besides the chainmail bikini. Hey, I know the classics are always, it's always going to get ruined. That's right. She's probably not good at mending things, and that's why she opted for the other costume. But so this one's lot 17, priced $2,500, for cover to Red Sonja 9. Then switching to a different title here. This is Gun Honey, something that I don't know. I hadn't heard of before. I did find the published cover out there, and I thought the way that, I don't know if this was you or them, but I love the way that the cover ended up working out, because that's like those classic 60s paperback novel kind of approaches with the yellow coming down and the title going across the top like that. I really love the way the final cover turned out. But tell me about Gun Honey.
Yeah, this was put out by Titan Books, and yeah, the whole look of the series was to evoke those old paperbacks, and they've had fantastic cover artists. Adam Hughes did 1 or 2 covers for them. I think maybe Frank Cho also did a cover, and they actually got Robert McGinnis to do a cover or 2. And
really?
Robert McGinnis actually painted all those great 60s paperback covers.
Of course.
So yeah, it was actually very. I was very honored to be put in that group of artists to do a cover.
Who was the publisher again on this one? I'm just going to
Titan Books.
All right, I'm going to go back and look at that. I mean, I love McGinnis's work. It's like I'm really curious to see how that turned out. But yeah, what an honor, right? I mean, because if you're compared with or working on a title that has covers by McGinnis, Hughes, and Cho, I mean, yeah, you're at the top of people's want list then, for stuff like this. We already knew that, Joe, but like you said, what an honor. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and it's nice to be put in that group.
Definitely. Number one Marvel fan. Who's a big number one Marvel fan, by the way. He said would be awesome to see Black Widow covers done by Joe. Yeah, you would probably do a very, very sexy and dynamic Black Widow.
I did one. I did a variant cover for the Avengers with the Black Widow on it, which if somebody just goes to Google and types in Linsner Avengers, that should pop right up.
Then I will do that. I didn't know you did one. I mean, I remember the Wolverine and Black Cat series. That was always fun. Mystique. So you've done some Marvel work in the past.
Yeah, and the Black Widow, I think it was just a variant for a certain comic shop. And I think that's from 2018, maybe.
Huh. Yeah, I do not remember that, but I'm gonna put it in my notes here to look after we're done here. Black Widow, Linsner. All right, so let's see here. So this was lot 18, gun hunting number 1, priced at $2,500. We'll go over to lot 19 next, and this is another Hell Sonja, very cheeky Hell Sonja piece here with the cover to issue 5, and this one's priced at $2,500. And it was funny. I missed when I was kind of putting the slide together. I hadn't looked at this image initially, and I had already grabbed the published cover, so I pulled the published cover image in first. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I thought maybe you put the fence in digitally. And then when I pulled the actual published image in, or the traditional image in, I was like, oh, that's so awesome that you did actually put did all that work by hand, because I didn't notice it since it wasn't colored, right? When I did it, when I glanced at it. But I like this piece a lot.
Yeah, I like this one too. And the fence was actually tinted digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think it's green on the final cover.
Yes.
And I'll do certain things like that sometimes where one of the benefits of working digitally is you have 10 million options, and I didn't know if I wanted the fence to be purple or green or blue or whatever. So I actually played around with a couple of different colors, and the green just kind of worked against the background and worked against her. So we went with green.
Yeah, no, it looks fantastic. She shouldn't be careful not to poke her eye with that. Yeah, the nose, it doesn't look very sharp. Well, I guess it does look kind of sharp, doesn't it? But she's Hell Sonja. She could probably poke into anything and it wouldn't hurt her. But this is a lot 19. Cover is Hell Sonja 5, priced at $2,500. And hey, I actually, let's see, I found the Black Widow image right there. So there you have it. I guess maybe it was Grant Comics, because that pops up when I do the search as well. So there you go. You did work on a Black Widow, traditional Black Widow costume, which would be the one that I'd want you to do if I ever got a commission from you. Yeah. Very
that is when I think of Black Widow, that's the look.
Oh yeah. No, without question. So there you go. There you have it. Number one Marvel fan. There is the one and only published Black Widow work that Joe has done that's out there. Now, do you, we've only been working together for a couple of years. I assume stuff like this, do you save a lot of this stuff, or is it long gone? Because I've always meant to ask you about, like on your Wolverine, when those covers were out there, and even the Mystique stuff. Do you save some of that, or does most of that probably sold back when those books were coming out?
A little of both. Some of it I've held on to, some of it I've sold. I know the Black Widow piece that, I'm pretty sure that got sold within months of it coming out, because somebody, I guess fell in love with it and reached out to me, and yeah, the claws stuff. I think most of that I've sold. I still have some of the original pages for that.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, I have the Killraven book I did for Marvel. I still have all of that artwork, because that was really a labor of love. I really love Killraven, and getting to do that was such a thrill. But again, I don't own the character, so who knows? Maybe someday I'll sell that stuff.
Right. Okay. No, I remember you talking about that first show we did. You had a like a convention sketch piece of Killraven that was fantastic. And
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was nice. But see, just another reason for me to, if I'm ever driving by, I'm going to let you know so I can see it myself. All right, so we'll keep this thing going here. We got lot 20 up next, and this is the cover to Red Sonja 3, and again, just wonderful composition on this piece. And I think this might be the only time we see Red Sonja in a somber, sad moment, and because she's, at least for the cover pieces that you do, she's usually cleaving somebody, or she's at least in a more aggressive moment, but this one called for something else.
Yeah, this was fun, getting to explore a different facet of her character. And in this series, Red Sonja goes through certain emotional highs and lows. So yeah, I'm actually very proud of this cover.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. So this is the cover of Red Sonja 3. And it is lot 20, priced at $2,700. Alberto says lucky sword. Well, yeah.
Lucky sword.
Lucky. Yeah, lucky sword in this next one here too. So lot 21. This is the the cover to Red Sonja 7. Now this is not, I mean, not only is it a beheading, but they're losing their entire forearm in this as well in one fell swoop. That's one sharp sword, Joe.
And she's a tough broad, so tough lady. I'm sorry.
Yes. Hey! Watch what you're saying there. This is she's in her classic costume here. No, nothing to keep her warm. She's definitely not worried about that in this one. And I guess the title, and I didn't write it in there, it is Invincible Red Sonja. So a slightly different title that you worked on with Dynamite. So this is the cover to 7 to the Invincible Red Sonja. And yeah, see, this is the way the expression I expect to see on her face most often. Just, take that.
Yeah, and this the series was written by Jimmy Palmiotti. So, I always, there are people who you want to impress. And I always, want to do good for Jimmy because Jimmy's such a good guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did here, and it's just perfect. She's well placed between the head, the arm, the helmet, and the body. I mean, it's awesome. Perfect composition. And also on the series, they with the logo treatment, I think they were trying to invoke the old 70s Hulk logo. Yeah.
And so, yeah, you might notice the line of the sword and her arms, works well with the logo. Yeah, that's something. Whenever I do a cover, I have to know what the logo is going to look like, where the logo is going to be.
Interesting. Yeah, no, well, I guess it's not. They can't be happy accidents, right? I mean, these sorts of things are well planned in advance. So no, well done, very well done, Joe. So
thanks,
now we're moving. We've got a few different characters coming up here at different times. What do we got? First up is something from John Carter of Mars. This is the cover to issue 2. Another beheading, of course. Taking care of business here with a little of the purple blood on her sword. This is priced at $2,700. And, you'd think it'd be a little colder on Mars, but apparently not. It's and it's a good thing. Well, I love the view, the angle on this one too. Kind of being seen from above makes this piece a lot of fun.
Well, I try to mix things up, and somebody recently complimented me on a lot of the dynamic lighting I've been doing on pieces, and those are just ways to mix things up and make it more interesting. Because like say with Daedra Thoris, it's like, what does the cover call for? It's like, well, she's got to stand there and look sexy. It's like, okay, how do we make that interesting? How do we put a spin on that and to shift the angle? Most pinup art is not done from a bird's eye view like this. So this getting to see more of the tile on the floor and everything. This this one came out nice. I like this one.
Yeah, and you get the Frazetta pillars in the background too. Another
nice
touch. You can't, I mean, that's whenever I love Frazetta's work, but that's him putting those heavy pillars in the background with the striations from the granite. I mean, it's a trope that you just always expect to see in his stuff. So it's a very nice touch to add here and to do it painted too, right? I mean, because in some cases you could have just left that and done that digitally, but to paint it traditionally just adds a little bit more to the piece.
Yeah, and something like that, like everything involving textures, that's something I like to do organically. And even if I, composite like a background with a foreground, I'll still have, the hand-drawn, the hand organic texture, giving it a little bit of warmth.
Yeah, no, this is beautiful. So this is lot 22, priced at $2,700. Go ahead and switch over to the next one. And Neil, I had a question for you too when I do the switch. He said, is there any character or comic title that you wish to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Oh yeah, a whole bunch. I'd still like to do more Batman stuff. I've drawn, 1 or 2 things, like maybe 2 or 3 Batman covers, but I'd like to do more. And Elric, I love Elric. I'd love to do a whole Elric comic book at some point.
I mean, Elric would be incredible, man. That would be, I'd love to see. Have you drawn Elric at all before? I mean, a convention sketch, people.
Yeah, for convention sketches and for fun. And yeah, I mean, I loved Elric to pieces growing up. And as a teenager, I had an entire Elric sketchbook that I filled with nothing but drawings of Elric. So yeah, I love those original novels, and overall, I'm a big Michael Moorcock fan.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, one of these days, like to do my take on Elric.
When Nick isn't inundating you with cover work. But yeah, no, honestly, Neil mentions that would be badass, and Robert Lane is in complete agreement that you would do an incredible Elric book without question, man. I mean, I would love to see, even if you just did covers, they would probably be spectacular. I'd love to see your take on that character. So speaking of your take on a character, this is Barbarella. And this one's lot 23, priced at $2,700. Now this is so new. There's not even an image out there from it, because I know you had done some covers to Dynamite's, like it was like a 2019 or maybe 2018 series of Barbarella. So this is something new that's going to be coming out maybe by the end of this year or early 2024. And this is the first cover to that.
Yeah, this is brand spanking new, and yeah, this is for the new #1, and yeah, I'm not sure if it's coming out by the end of this year or early next year, but yeah, they got me in outer space, which I love Barbarella, and I don't often get to draw spaceships or spacemen, so I had a great time with this.
Fantastic. And I know we've got another one of these too, but so this is lot 23, cover to Barbarella 1, priced at $2,700. Then we have the cover to a Barbarella 2, and this one is priced at $2,700 as well. Lot 24. Now I see the green highlight around her neck there. Is green kind of an overriding color in this piece? I assume maybe through that we're seeing through those cutouts in the pillars there.
Actually, mostly from the moon.
Okay. Right. Yep.
And
Nice.
once the background's in there, the green will pop out on the moon more. Yeah, because through the window is outer space, and that's kind of like bluish purpley, and then the green of the moon right behind her.
Yep. No, very, very nicely done on here. So yeah, Wesley screaming in all caps, "You have to draw an Elric book, Joe." We need to find a way to get Joe on an Elric book. I think that's that is definitely what everybody wants to see. Scott Kelly wanted to know if you've ever been asked to draw any She-Hulk.
Never professionally. I've done a couple of She-Hulk commissions.
Okay.
Which yeah, she's a lot of fun to draw.
All right. Well, we've got 24, lot 24 still out there. Barbarella 2 cover, priced at $2,700. Then we're going to switch back over here to Mars with this Deja Thoris versus John cover #6 cover, and this one's priced at $3,000. He's all battle damaged and she's throwing a party. So this is a good one. I mean, yeah, just fun. This fun stuff on this one, just because of that, and and I like the fact that even on the ground, he's got some of his blood down there. There's the purple blood as well, and then just the happy Deja Thoris in this thing. It's just a fantastic image.
Thanks, Bill. One of my favorite things about Frazetta is his sense of humor, and so whenever possible, I try to, throw a little levity in there.
Well,
and this is definitely, she's saying, "We won," and he's like, "We won."
Yep, exactly. Yeah, there's no blood, or is there a little blood on her blade mate? No, not really. He did all the work.
He did all the work. He took the beating.
Deja is the main character. That's true, Alberto. It is. That's the focal point. But yeah, no, wonderful stuff here. So this is lot 25, priced at $3,000, covered at Deja Thoris versus John Carter #6. Now the next one is something called Dawn Attack, and this is the cover to issue 2. I'm not familiar with Dawn Attack, and I think this was done last year. So tell me a bit about what this story was all about.
This is another Frazetta-based series. And Frazetta has a painting called Dawn Attack with this character, the girl with the winged helmet. And this is also put out by Opus. And they got some of the top guys in the biz to do covers. And I couldn't resist anything relating to Frazetta's work. I'm there. And that knowing it was a Frazetta character, that right off the bat, it's like, okay, got to roll up the sleeves, got to make sure I do a good job for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Frazetta is, of course, my all-time favorite artist.
Yeah, if you could own one painting from Frank, which one would it be, do you think?
I think it would be Death Dealer 2.
Okay, I know
which that's the one where he's got his axe over his head.
Uh-huh.
And there are a whole bunch of like demons at his feet. And I actually have the poster of that hanging in my studio. And that to me is like his most dynamic painting. Just the feel of his musculature and the lighting, like so many things come together so perfectly in that painting. And I've spent so many hours studying and just getting lost in it. Yeah, and then I was actually lucky enough a couple of years ago at the Chicago Comic-Con. They had a traveling exhibit of Frazetta paintings, and I got to see the original of that. And when you see Frazetta's originals painted in oil, it almost seems like they're painted in fluorescent paint because just his color combinations are so dynamic and they glow. Truly amazing. If I had to pick one Frazetta, it would be that one.
That one's, it's one of my favorites too, without question. And probably, like you just said, one of the more dynamic color-wise. And I can tell you, I think there will be at least one Frazetta original at OAX. So, and it's not from the Frazetta girls who are down here with the Frazetta Museum. We're working with a gallery that is in a special collection. Then they're going to be having a small exhibit at OAX, and we're going to have potentially 3 or 4 small exhibits going on during OAX. I think that people are going to be pretty stoked about, as well. But the thing I like this one again. You got to do more, right? You get the spaceship, you get the robot, you get the planets, and more of the landscape in there too. So this is almost it's more of a finished piece where you get just got to play around more with those extra characters in here. So this is nice, really, really nice. Okay, lot 26, 3,000. Then we're going back to Red Sonja with this one. This is the cover to that Red Sonja 1 storyline where she's protecting the youth, and you get the sword right in your face on this one, which is nice. And again, nice. You get with the landscape in there, grounding the character on this piece, and just makes it look, even more like a very, well finished piece here. Now this is like pre-battle damage. She's got her cloak is a little bit torn up, but that's just from dragging on the ground. She's not been stabbed or anything yet here. No,
it's still early in the day. She hasn't broken a sweat yet.
No, not at all. But this is a pretty great first way to start off a series as far as a #1 cover. And I could see in here, like you did actually put in a second tree on the published version as well. Is that something that what's a Ute? Yeah, James either. But yeah, no, this is great. This is a really, really nice image. But on something like that, it seems kind of rare where you feel like you needed to add a little extra detail in the like the printed version here, getting that extra tree in there to kind of balance out the scene.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if if 2 trees would be too many, or like that balancing an image. Again, one of the beautiful things about working in Photoshop is you do get to play with things back and forth. And if I had put the tree in there and I didn't like it on the original, that'd be a pain in the neck. So I figured, okay, let me just leave that and then, stick it there in Photoshop. And if I like it, then I'll keep it.
Yeah, no, this is, I think it does actually work a little bit better with the balance there. Although in your the traditional piece, your focus on the the young girl, really kind of you see her really well there. So I think it's fine without it in the final piece, but it looks great on the cover with it.
Yeah, and with the sword, I've always been a huge fan of the original Tom Jung movie poster for the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings, where Gandalf has that gigantic sword.
That's so funny. I've been looking at this image trying to figure out what it reminds me of, and now you finally done it for me. Thank you so much. I don't know why I kept looking at that thinking I know it's like an homage to something, and there you have it. I mean, I feel so stupid now. That's one of my, I love the Bakshi, that cover to the Lord of the Rings. I mean, man, I feel so stupid. I've been looking at this thing for the last 24 hours and it was bothering me. Perfect. So, all right. Well, this is the cover to Red Sonja 1, lot 27, priced at $3,000. And let's see here. We'll go over to lot 28 next, another Red Sonja cover. This is the cover to issue 5. And this is priced at $3,000. Lots of dead foes behind her in this one, in whatever arena or courtyard she was hanging out in for this one. I thought this was cool. This reminds me of it's like Venus, right? I mean, she just needs a big clamshell behind her or something like that. But I mean, it's just a great pose, and but completely different than that one, because there's blood on the ground, there's blood on the sword, there's blood on her. And there's corpses galore in the background as well. I mean, so when I saw this one, it made me smile. I love the way you digitally colored the final piece too. I love that the blue of the sky behind her. I mean, everything works well over there too. So this is a fun piece. Very nice.
Corpses galore. I'm gonna remember that. I like
that. Yeah. I mean, one was even stuck with the pike there, and these are this is great. But all right, so this is lot 28, priced at $3,000, and the cover to Red Sonja 5. And Matt says it's a great one too. Flex the triceps. Hey, Antoine's here. Nice to see you, Antoine. So this next piece, I actually have 2 slides for, because this is a rare piece where you did the background on traditionally on a separate board, and kind of pulled it all together. So I hadn't seen this one before, Joe. So this was new to me, but this is lot 29, priced at $3,000. This is the cover to a San Diego Comic-Con variant that Dynamite put out. And so this is you can see the composite in the upper left, the published version there. And just a fantastic image of Red Sonja on the right, which is the traditional piece. And then I'll show you the other slide too, so you can see that you did the whole background traditionally as well. And this is an image for anybody who's gone to San Diego. We know this angle very well, walking over to the show. So this was fun. I mean, how did they pitch this one to you to do as a project?
They just said Dynamite just said they wanted an exclusive for the San Diego Comic-Con, and I said, could I stick the convention center in there? And they said sure. And because that's such a distinctive and such a dynamic building, and I couldn't resist putting the skulls in there.
Of course. No, I mean, it came out fantastic. I'm sure they were very pleased with it too. When I was bopping around trying to find the image on the upper left, it's every vendor vendor website that I came across always had like a sold out on it. So clearly this was probably pretty popular at San Diego Comic-Con for the shops that picked up copies of it. And again, that's cool. I mean, because it's not something you're going to see too often, right? I mean, as far as like trying to put the actual building in with the image here. So pretty cool. I'm glad you did it this way.
Yeah, me too. And Sonja, this might be the one of the more detailed Sonja figures I've actually done. I mean, she's really huge on the page.
Yeah, when I saw this, I was thinking like the San Julian Vampirella pinups that are out there, where the figure on white used in in couple various different ways, of course, but that's the first thing I thought, because it is such I presume the same thing, a taller figure on the piece, and it is really well rendered. We do have a question from Michael. Are time payments available for lot 29? And I think we can work that out. Joe, is that are you okay if we can do something like within 60 days, Michael? If you think that's what we can work out, I mean, please email us after the show, and we'll see, we'll do our best to accommodate without question. I think we can do that. But I shouldn't be speaking for you, Joe. I'm doing it.
No, that sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because this is a powerful image of Red Sonja for certain.
Yeah, I think this would look very nice framed up.
All right, Michael. Well, there we go. We all appreciate that. That's a great pickup. Congratulations. So lot 29 goes to Michael. We'll take a look at this. Is actually the most expensive piece that we have in the set today. Lot 30. This is priced at $3,500, and it is 100% complete. Published as is. This is the cover to Conan the Cimmerian, issue 15. No Conan on it, but it has got what was it? The Trapped with the Woman Who Never Died. Now that's you don't want to meet her in a dark jungle or wherever that they're running into one another. But yeah, this is fun. I mean, she's clearly vampiric, and has some familiar type creatures around her that you wouldn't want to mess with either. This is fun.
Yeah, this is old school. No digital on it at all.
Yeah,
back in the old days when I only did one cover a month.
When you did that, I mean, was that clearly by choice? I mean, going into it, I mean, you could have done it digitally. Was it because of the figures in the background? Because like we saw on that Red Sonja piece with the the corpses behind her. I mean, on that one, you did you drew the figures traditionally, but what was the thought process when you were tackling this one?
Well, with the Conan covers, I felt thrilled to be doing them in the first place. So I wanted to really give every cover my all, and I don't think I'd actually done as much experimenting with digital back then, so I probably didn't even have the ability to have done it the way I'm doing it now. Yeah, just and also back then I was only doing one cover a month, so I had a lot more time to work on it.
Sure.
Yeah,
this took where you're working with Dynamite so aggressively.
Yeah, but with Dynamite working so aggressively, that's actually produced I think some really fantastic results because I don't get to overthink things. And
so just to be clear, like this isn't something we're going to get to see too often because of your schedule these days. I mean, that's what it boils down to. You just don't have the time to kind of go edge to edge on a piece like this.
Not as much these days, no.
Yes, everybody's pondering the mechanics of that top of hers. But
I confess, I did not design the top. The interior artist designed that, and I just kind of had to go with it. It's like, are those pasties glued on, or is that some kind of weird underwire thing, or I don't know. But that's the way she was drawn inside the comic. So
right, yeah. Don't blame Joe. He was just following the character design sheets. So all right. So this is lot 30 and priced at $3,500. Conan the Cimmerian. So what year was this? I guess I should have noted that, but I did not.
2008 maybe.
Oh, okay. So this is a very vintage piece by you.
Yeah. Awesome. And actually, I have not sold too many of my Conan covers. Most of those I still have.
Okay. Well, this is like I said, lot 30, priced at $3,500. He draws them like he sees them. Yes, exactly. Vacuum. You guys. Yes, lots of theories out there in the chat. Okay, so let's see. These next three pieces we had on the last show, they didn't sell, so we put them. We modified the prices on these. So lot 31 is the next one here. This was that cover to Bunny Mask #1, and this one's priced at $1,500. And I just remember this was one of the more bizarre images, Joe, that we had that we've shown. I think because I was not familiar with Bunny Mask at the last show, but it's again bloody and interesting all at the same time. The bunny mat. I wouldn't want to run into her at a at a medical facility, or wherever the heck she's working. So for this one's priced at $1,500, and it was one of the #1 covers to that book. And Hoarder's Hide needs this one. Why does he like rabbits? I have no idea. So this is 31. Now 32 is that Steed and Peel Volume 2 #1 cover, and this one was actually, I was going to grab the published image, and they didn't put a logo on this one, so it was published pretty much as is. And this one we had on the last show, and this was so we reduced the price on this one. It's lot 32, priced at $2,000. Very very good likenesses on this one, Joe.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think of my Steed and Peel covers, this is the best John Steed. Yeah, I think I really nailed him on this one.
Definitely. Avengers Assembled. Wrong Avengers there, Marcus, but good try.
The original Avengers.
Yes, exactly. I forget when I Googled this. It took me a while to get to the image, because if you type in just Steed and Peel and cover, there's so many images that they were on the cover of, whether it was the photographs of them or other book covers that were painted. So I had to put your last name in there to get to this one.
That's usually what I have to do.
Yes, very, very well established character. So then we have one more piece here. This is lot 33, Purgatori Must Die #3 cover. We had this one on the last show. Somebody bought it and then backed out. So we have it here for you. I actually have it here because it was shipped to me. And then we had a buyer who had an issue, and we needed to kind of pull it back. So this one's lot 33, priced at $2,500, and love the the rail that she's leaning against, that you did all that traditionally. I think that just adds to this piece. It makes it really nice. Now,
yeah, like I said, I like to get the texture in there.
Yeah, no, it works really well. So now we have 3 pieces, and these are the 3 Vampirella pieces that I mentioned. I got them just before the show, so I knocked these slides out as quickly as I could. We've got lot 34 here, and it's interesting. On the published version, she does not have hair, but in the version that we get here, she has a full head of hair. This is from Dynamite Lives #4 cover, priced at $2,000, and very nicely done. But why the bald version on the printed cover?
For whatever reason, Vampirella loses her hair in the series, and so I had to draw her bald. And as I was working on the cover, I was like, I don't like bald girls. That's not my thing. I have to put hair on her. So I knew as soon as it had seen print, I broke out the black and put her hair back on.
Good for you. Yes. I think that, Lost the Planets 2 Mysteries Eagle, like you said as well. Yeah, you're right. They didn't end up in the printed version, but at least her hair came back. Yeah, I'm glad you did that. Yeah, bald Vampirella is a little frightening in her own way.
Balderella.
Yeah. What do we got here? There's a question from Roberto. He said, any of the toy art paintings that you have done still out there? Wasn't there a Bettie Page that you did for one of the Mego-like toy companies? I'm not familiar with that. Does that ring a bell to you, Joe?
Yeah, that I believe that got sold to the guys who actually did the figure.
Well,
which if ever I do a piece of art for someone, they usually get first dibs on buying the original.
Mm-hmm. As it should be. So there you go. Thanks for the question, Roberto. All right, so this is lot 34, priced at $2,000. We got lot 35 next. This is an interesting piece again, and you added the hair after the fact. I don't think we need to ask what part of the zombie Red Sonja's anatomy she's got in her hand there, but was that part of the script? I have to ask her. Is this all you again, Joe?
That's all me. That's all me. Red Sonja's literally fallen to pieces, and I couldn't resist. I thought it would be funny.
No, it definitely is. It's not something that I think we've ever seen on a cover before. And I love this, the fact that Dynamite, they've, obviously they publish a lot of interesting, books, and they look at it and they enjoyed it as well. Weren't afraid to print it, with a breast in hand. So yeah, very well done. You couldn't, because if it was Honor, you probably couldn't get that printed, but you get it done this way.
Yeah, right. She's touching her.
Yes, exactly. So lot 20 or lot 25, lot 35, priced at $2,500, and we've got Perseus Kambata references in there from Marcus and Antoine. Sure. So
well, she was actually a very attractive actress, Perseus Kambata.
Yeah, that's true.
And she looked great with hair. And if in 1979, if they had cast her as Vampirella, I would have gone with that. She would have made a good Vampirella.
Yeah. No, I cannot argue with you at all on that one. Yeah, that's true. She had a very interesting figure, as I recall. Okay, so this is 35. Second to last piece we have tonight here, everybody, or today. This is a Vampirella Year 1, number 5 cover, priced at $2,700. Just classic, great image of Vampirella here. This was from 2022, and this is, again, cover to issue 5, Vampirella Year 1. And again, there's certain characters that you just draw so very well. I mean, we all think of Dawn when we think of you too, but your Vampirellas are just always really, really special.
Oh, thanks, Bill. Well, Vampirella is one of those characters that I grew up loving, and I feel honored to be able to draw her. And in my mind, she's got to look a certain way. And like say with Red Sonja, I always think of Frank Thorne. Frank Thorne's Red Sonja is the definitive Red Sonja. So my Red Sonja looks different from Frank Thorne's, but it's still, descended from Frank Thorne's. And with Vampirella, Jose Gonzalez, he's the Vampirella guy to me. Even though Frazetta was there first, and I love the handful of Frazetta pieces that exist of Vampirella, but Jose Gonzalez really got to give her life and really animate her a lot more. Sure.
No, I always kind of forget about Thorne's work on Vampirella. I don't know why, but yeah, that's kind of cool that he's like first and foremost in your list of thinking about Vampirella artists. But this is I love the image. Again, I love the bat kind of graphic that you've kind of put around her. These little the wings like that just makes it really nice. But so yeah, this one's still available, $2,700, lot 36, Vampirella Year 1, number 5 cover, and a Dynamite book again, as we've seen with I think about 85% of the covers were all Dynamite related work.
Yeah, and this cover was really cool because Year 1, the first cover starts off when she's like a little 10-year-old kid, and I think in the second cover she's got her vampy outfit, but it's white, and then by the time we get to number 5, she's full on vampy, so she's got the classic, red outfit and everything, and yeah. So with the thinking on this cover was to let's celebrate, what vampy is, hence the ring of bats, and yeah, I'm proud of this one. I like this one.
Yep, came out very, very nice, Joe. So why don't we can just go through and recap all the pieces that we still have left. We only sold a few today, everybody. So I'm assuming that we're going to have some people who watch the show later who will be sending in inquiries, and you can do that. We always do. We always let people know that. We also like to let everybody know that we do send out we'll send out a mailing tomorrow at noon that will have all the pieces in it as well. And I always post these pieces up into my CAF, into the classifieds, to kind of push it out there through the whole Comic Art Fans network these days. So they'll be going up there as well. But let me go ahead and run through the lots that we have here. Can we do package deal offers? Alberto wants to know. Alberto, you're more than welcome to email us after the show. If there's a few pieces that you're really interested in, Joe and I would be happy to hear what you're thinking. And my email address, bill@comicartfans.com. I might as well just highlight that again just to show everybody. on that slide, we want you to email me, anybody who picked up artwork today, bill@comicartfans.com, and we'll square away payment with you. And if anybody wants to make any inquiries after the show's over, that's the way to get in touch with me as well. So let's see. As far as the auction pieces that we had out there, there were 2 pieces that were still available. That was the A and the E version. This is A from Harley Quinn 16, page 4, and then we had page 8. So the beginning and end page of that whole sequence. Then we also have, gonna move around here. We have lot 1. That was the Bettie Page Alien Agenda 4 cover, priced at $1,800. Lot 2 was the Space Truckin' #1 cover, priced at $1,800. And we've got a couple of the Jennifer Blood covers. This is the cover to issue 2, priced at $1,800. And then also the cover to issue 3, not yet out, priced at $1,800 as well. We've got the Hell Sonja 3 cover, lot 5, priced at $2,000. And lot 6, the Sheena #5 cover, priced at $2,000 as well. And we also have the Chasing the Dragon cover, priced at $2,000. This is lot number 7. And this very, very attractive Bettie Page Alien Agenda issue 1 cover, lot 8, priced at $2,000. Then another Bettie Page, which is lot number 9. This is the cover to issue 4 from that title, priced at $2,000 as well. Then we have lot 10, the James Bond #10 cover, priced at $2,000. And then $2,500. This is lot 11, the Sheena 4 cover. This is, again, what you can see, one of the few edge-to-edge pieces that we had available today, lot 11. Then we've got lot 12 here, Sheena #9, Sheena in Peril, temporarily, priced at $2,500. Then lot 13, we have the Sheena #7 cover, priced at $2,500 as well. Then let's see, we have lot 14. We're swinging over into the Red Sonja work here. This is the cover to Red Sonja 2. Lot 14 priced at $2,500, and then lot 15, the cover to Red Sonja 5, priced at $2,500. Now Robert Lane got the lot 16, so lot 17 was the Red Sonja 9 cover, priced at $2,500. Then let's see, next up is the Gun Hunting #1 cover, priced at $2,500, lot 18. And then lot 19 was the Hell Sonja cover, issue 5. $2,500. Then we've got lot 20, back over to Red Sonja on this one for issue 3 cover, priced at $2,700. Lot 21, the Red Sonja #7 at $2,700. Then we have lot 22, John Carter #2 cover, $2,700 with the beheading in this one. And I see Michael Wygant has claimed lot 13. Sorry, kept to multitask here because of the way the tabs work out. But Michael, that's a great pickup, and I will highlight it back for everybody so they can see which cover lot 13 is. Michael Wygant has an amazing art collection. For those of you not familiar with it, you can check it out on CAF. And he's actually a really nice guy too. I've gotten to meet Michael at San Diego. So congrats, Michael. Good pickup on that one. So let me swing back here and get the right piece on here because I'm a little bit discombobulated. But yeah, back over here we have, let me hide the comment here as well. So we got lot 20, $2,700, Red Sonja 3 cover. Then we've got lot 21, the Red Sonja 7 cover, priced at $2,700. We've got the 22, and I know I'm repeating myself, but bear with me. The $2,700 on the John Carter 2 cover. Then we're swinging over to Vampirella, and that is lot 23, Vampirella #1 cover. This has not come out yet, but it will be out later this year or early in 2024. So that's the cover to issue 1 at $2,700, and this is the cover to issue 2 at $2,700 as well. Then over to here we have Deja Thoris versus John Carter #6 cover, lot 25 priced at $3. And lot 26, this is a Dawn Attack #2 cover. I didn't realize it was a Frazetta character. Now I know. So I've learned something new today as well. So this is priced at $3,000. We have lot 27 next, the Red Sonja #1 cover, priced at $3. And lot 28, this is the Red Sonja 5 cover, priced at $3,000. And I see Michael mentioned that his wife loves the cat too, so that's always a bonus when the art is wife approved.
Yes,
it makes the purchases all the easier. So then We got lot 29 that was picked up by Michael. Sorry, I shouldn't have highlighted that one, but thank you, Michael, for that. Then we have lot 30. That's the Conan the Cimmerian issue 15 cover. This was, I think, Joe said from 2008. This one's priced at $3,500. Then we have the lot 31, Bunny Mask #1, priced at $1,500. Cover on that one. And again, all of these pieces are 11 by 17, everyone. Then we have the Steed and Peel Volume 2 #1 cover as lot 32, priced at $2,000. We have lot 33, the Purgatori Must Die #3 cover, priced at $2,500. Then 3 Vampirella pieces here. We've got lot 34 from Dynamite Lives #4, and this is priced at $2,000. Another cover for #5 from that same title, lot 35, priced at $2,500. And finally, the piece we looked at just a few minutes ago, Vampirella Year 1 #5 cover, priced at $2,700. So there you have all that. I need to drink something after all that. So thank you very much, Joe, and thank you everybody for hanging out with us today. This was always fun to look at the artwork. I know that I'm quite confident we're going to get a lot of requests after the show. Alberto, just feel free to email us whatever you were thinking about, and if I get it in the next couple of minutes, I'll be able to talk to Joe in the green room about it, because I want to talk to you, Joe, about OAX. So if you don't mind giving me a few minutes after we're done here, we can talk a little bit about that. But I thank everybody, TMD1 and Michael and James Bella, or both Michaels, for picking up artwork today. We sincerely appreciate it. And again, Joe, any parting words? What's currently on your desk right now that you're working on? Is it something you can tell us?
What am I working on right now? Still doing covers. I just did a cover for Red Sonja versus Mars Attacks, which is my first time drawing the classic Mars Attacks aliens, which I love. I love those guys. That was a big thrill.
How many aliens on that one?
I think there are 3 aliens on the cover.
Wow.
And
that's like a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is a lot of fun. I could actually mail it to you and give you a teaser of it.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
But yeah, I'm working on a secret project, which I was working on last time. Which I originally wanted to have that done by this December, but it's not going to be done by December. But I hope to have that come out next year. It's going to be something involving Dawn.
Okay.
And yeah, that's going to be written and drawn and painted by me, which is going to be cool.
That's exciting. Yeah, I feel like we maybe hinted or talked about something that you were working on 6 months ago too. And I was thinking that maybe back then you were thinking around first of the year, but so it's going to be, it's more sometime into 2024. Yeah,
it definitely. And if it doesn't come out next year, I'm going to lose my mind, because it's been percolating for too long. All right. I usually let things simmer on the back burner for a while, and it's ready to come out. It's ready to get wrapped up, I should say.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to that. I definitely look forward to seeing the Mars Attacks Red Sonja image. I can't even imagine what that's going to look like, but I know it's going to be fantastic. And I would assume it probably has a little bit of a touch of humor in there, of course. And yeah.
How could it not?
Exactly. And Alberto says email sent. All right, everybody. Well, listen, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a Saturday.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Okay. Well, you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I've got a show again tonight at 9 o'clock, so I'll see some of you later on as well. Joe, I guess we'll next see you at OAX. And again, thanks everybody. We'll see you again sometime.